presentation right now. I would like to invite Shri N. Vijayaditya Garu. He's got a PhD from North Carolina, Chapel Hill, United States University. He was the former Director General of NIC, National Informatics Center, and the current Director General of Controller of Certifying Authority, Government of India. Has got Scotch Man of the Year award in the year 2002, a very prestigious award to his credit, and a couple of national and international awards to his credit. He is the man I know since almost years and years together. It was so hard in India. Still, I think it requires few more years for people to understand the importance of information security, and especially digital signatures and certificates are concerned. Whenever you use internet, you are never secure until and unless you don't use digital signatures. And once you're online, whenever you're doing shopping, see through it that your browsers are having a valid SSL certificate that protects you and also gives you a full of trust on internet, and there's also a liability. There are no man-in-the-middle attacks, due to which PKI is very advantageous. I have even requested Sir in my trip to Delhi a couple of months back when I met him personally, Sir, you have to emphasize Andhra Pradesh at large. He's from Andhra Pradesh. We are proud that Sir is from Andhra Pradesh, and he's sitting in such a key position in New Delhi. I was so shocked that the Indian government at large, now at this point of time, banking sector is utilizing, but there's a huge market of PKI in India, public key infrastructure. One such instance I know, matter of fact, when VeriSign entered India, and unfortunately at that point of time, there were lack of support from them on terms of technical support were concerned, especially for issuing digital certificates. But when the man took over, Dr. N. Vijayaditya, and had established under his able guidance 8 certifying authorities, now the country is rocking, and without them, these certifying authorities under his able guidance, India wouldn't have been secured. The only thing is we have to start using. And the discussion what I was telling him was he should even recommend somebody from Andhra Pradesh as an ambassador to emphasize, to use digital signatures in some universities and make it a mandatory that all students should use digital signatures. Otherwise, WikiLeaks, issues like WikiLeaks will keep rocking. That is nothing, that is just the beginning. One day, I always keep saying that the terrorist will bring internet to its knees. So let me invite you, Dr. N. Vijayaditya Garu, to take over. Thank you.
Yes, next, right? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Back again at the mic. I think you had an excellent presentation this afternoon. We had the legal aspects of the Information Technology Act, both Mr. Goyal and another colleague of mine who has described the various aspects of the Information Technology Act, and Pawan Duggal has really emphasized the greatness, I would say, the problems that implementing the information technology is all about. But whatever may be it, we are today a part of it. We are in this information, continue to use the computers and the information networks for our day-to-day activities, whether we like it or not. I remember when I started the e-governance activities in Government of India, and we started putting the computers in the various districts, people used to have inhibitions and used to have lots of jokes on us. We don't have a drinking water, we don't have electricity, we have computers in our district offices. That's what used to be said. But whatever may be it, we did initiate a process, a way of looking at the things ahead. We set the VSAT system, very small aperture terminal system, into the country, which was objected at the particular point of time. We did pursue it, and today the communication system has vastly improved, and we access a variety of information and do a variety of transactions. When we move over from the physical space to the virtual space, there are lots of things needs to be done. In the physical space, we have certain securities and sanctities are there to perform certain transactions. Whether you sign a banking check, or you sign a will, or you sign something other document, important document, your signature becomes the most vital thing. Signature identifies you, that it is you who have signed it. The legal meaning of the signature in the physical world is that, if you ask any lawyer who is there, he will tell you, when you put a piece of your signature on a piece of paper, you're basically trying to tell, I read the content, I understand the contents, and I fully endorse the contents of this particular document which I am signing. That's the meaning associated to that, whether most of us do that or not, but the actual meaning associated to putting a signature of yours is that. That means I understand, I read the content, I understand the contents, and I fully endorse the contents of what you are talking about. That's what it is the meaning of a signature. And the signature as such has not been defined in the legal terms. If a signature could be in Telugu, you can write it, in English you can write it, in Hindi you can write it, you can put a tick mark, or you put a thumb impression. These are all part and parcel of the signature definition, which is legally accepted, and we use it to perform the transactions. And we also make sure when you go to a bank, when you sign something and you find some mistake is there, you make certain corrections to that particular time, and the bank manager asks you to put your signature again. When he asks you to put the signature, again a meaning is associated legally in legal terms, saying that I'm making a modification, I understand the consequences, I fully endorse the meaning of this modification of this particular thing which you are performing in that piece of document. That's the reason you put your signature again and again and again. That is basically the legal meaning associated to perform certain transactions, and signature by sacrosanct. It identifies the individuals and legally provides, if there a problem is there, you go to whatever the forensic experts or whatever this concern is concerned. That's what happens. That's what should perform the transactions in the physical world. When we're converting the physical world into the electronic world, obviously you need to carry over all these facilities or features which you are talking about into the cyberspace. That means you need to have a mechanism of identifying the individual who is signing it up and make sure you authenticate it. Because, for example, when you put a piece of signature on your piece of bank goes back and looks at the papers and say, hey, the signature matches, is the same guy which is talking about it. So similarly, you need to have some mechanism of authenticating the individual. And second and third, most important is the content, integrity of the content. The matter which is there is not been modified. And finally, the most important thing which is required, which is to perform the transactions on the electronic space in non-repudiation. You do not deny the transaction. When you put a signature, you are not denying it because it's your signature. If there is we go to the court. But the same thing has to take place into the cyberspace. That's what is the four important factors that needs to be performed for us to perform in the cyberspace. If you want to convert the physical area to the cyberspace to perform this transaction, identity, authenticity, authentication of the individual is concerned, content integration, integrity of the content, and finally, non-repudiation of the transaction. The information technology, when was particularly unveiled in 2000 things, is basically this is the purpose, to give an emphasis to the e-governance activity which we started in way back in late 70s and early 80s, and also the e-commerce transaction that has to be performed when you are applying for a passport is concerned. when you're applying for import-export clearance is concerned, or you perform in the e-commerce, like for example, e-procurement transactions is concerned, this needs to be some sort of authenticity. Because today, in an email, if you send it, I need not take legal sanctity of the email, because email can be generated from anybody address from any place. So email doesn't have the legal sanctity. If people can very easily deny, this is not the message from me. So if you want to accept, promote, and then perform the transactions in the electronic commerce, you need to have a mechanism by which he does not deny the transactions. That's most important. Otherwise, no agency is going to accept that particular thing. These are the 4 fundamental factors which has been emphasized in Information Technology Act. And the Information Technology Act describes these things, as Preet pointed out, in the initial phases, 70 to 80% of the act deals with this particular aspect, promotion of e-commerce and e-governance activities concerned. The rest 35 deals with other activities concerned. The act also created my office, which is called the Control of Certifying Authorities Office, to create a mechanism, a process and procedure by which this particular things can be performed. That's what the Control of Certifying Authorities does it. So the Control of Certifying Authorities does a mechanism of authenticating the individuals and also certifying the individual. That is the individual who is trying to perform the transaction and stand guarantee for that particular individual. That's what it does. So a trust chain has been established, and that's what we perform. So what I will do, what happens in the particular structure is that we have the Control of Certifying Authority, who is the root signature. I sign for the whole